my fiancé announced. I listed your car on Facebook Marketplace for $5,000. Someone's picking it up in an hour. We need the money for my bachelorette party, I said. Fast sale. Then I called the police about attempted theft and was waiting with officers when the buyer showed up, when she had to explain to the cops why she was selling property that wasn't hers. I, 30 male, am standing in my garage watching my fiancé get handcuffed. This is not how I expected my Tuesday to go. It was 2:13 p.m. and I was halfway through installing electrical panels at a site in downtown Austin. My phone buzzed against my hip. Facebook notification. Madison had tagged me in a post. A 1967 Ford Mustang, fastback my Mustang. The car I had spent for painstaking years restoring. Over $22,000 in parts, time, and sweat was listed for $5,000 cash, pickup that very afternoon. My brain struggled to process it. My retirement fund on wheels, my obsession reduced to a fraction of its value. The photos showed the car gleaming, the polished red paint almost mocking me. I called her immediately. Madison answered, singing, "Hey babe, did you see? Why is your car on Facebook?" My blood ran cold. I could hear Tiffany, my cousin and lifelong friend, in the background, groaning audibly. "Oh my God," Madison continued. "Tiffany and I were figuring out Vegas and were $3,200 short for the villa. So I had this genius idea. We just sell your car. Problem solved. The guy's coming at 4. I didn't say anything at first. My brain was buffering. "Madison, you listed my car for $5,000. I said, careful to keep my voice steady, though it was shaking. She hummed, carefree. "Yep, had to sell fast. Worked perfectly." My grip tightened around the phone. I wanted to scream. "That car is worth $22,000. She shrugged. "Okay, but we don't need that much. Just enough for Vegas. Where's the title?" Her voice was casual, almost affectionate, when she replied, "I grabbed it from your office this morning. Babe, we're getting married soon. What's yours is mine." My stomach twisted. She had rifled through my filing cabinet, taken legal documents without asking, and was now boasting about it. She continued cheerfully, "Don't worry. I'll have the title signed and everything. This villa has a rooftop pool, Jake. It's going to be amazing." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You can't sell my car. It's already sold. The guy's coming in less than 2 hours. My voice was tight now, controlled fury simmering beneath the surface. "I'm calling the police," I said. "What?" "Because you're committing theft. It's your car." She laughed, as though this were some trivial misunderstanding. I felt a cold, steady edge of determination settle over me. "You don't own the right to sell it. That's theft." "Oh my God, you're so dramatic. It's for our wedding. My bachelorette party. It's for fun," she said, dismissing me like I was some petty obstacle to her plans. I hung up and dialed 911, double quote, 911, "What's your emergency?" The dispatcher asked. "My fiancée just listed my car on Facebook without my permission. She stole the title and is planning to complete the sale in less than 2 hours. I need officers at my house immediately." By 3:20 p.m., I arrived home. 2 squad cars were already parked in my driveway. Madison sat on the curb, crying, Tiffany hovering beside her, furious. Officer Mendez, an older man with a calm, measured presence, approached me first. Relief flashed in his eyes when he saw me. "Mr. Reynolds," he asked, "your fiancée here says this is a misunderstanding, that you gave her permission to sell the vehicle. I shook my head firmly. Absolutely not. I found out about this from the Facebook post. I handed over my phone, showing him the post, the texts, and the part where she had admitted to taking the title. His partner leaned over, eyebrows raised. Did you take the vehicle title from his house? Mendez asked Madison. Yes. But we live together, she began weakly. Engagement gives you ownership. Mendez pressed. No, she admitted, her voice shrinking. Not on the registration or title. Tiffany stepped forward, eyes blazing. This is insane. They're getting married in 6 weeks. Jake's just being petty. Mendez held up a hand. Ma'am, step back. Engagement doesn't grant legal ownership. Theft and fraud are still crimes. I retrieved the title from Madison's purse on the kitchen counter. Her expression shifted from defiance to panic. Officer Mendez took a deep breath. Ma'am, you took property documents that don't belong to you and attempted to sell property you don't own. You're lucky Mr. Reynolds called us before the sale. Otherwise, you'd be facing felony charges. Madison broke down completely, mascara streaking her face. The doorbell rang 3:58 p.m. A middle-aged man in a Harley jacket holding cash appeared, confused. I'm here for the Mustang. Officer Mendez stepped forward. Sir, the vehicle is not for sale. The person who listed it doesn't own it. The buyer's jaw dropped. You were trying to scam me, he demanded. Madison stammered. It's complicated. The man shook his head and muttered about wasted time before leaving. The officers turned back to Madison. Ma'am, I'm placing you under arrest for attempted theft and fraud. She screamed, begged, and shouted about ruining her wedding and life. Tiffany filmed every moment. Madison was handcuffed, still crying as she was led to the squad car. I watched in disbelief. My Mustang remained safe in the garage. My fiancée, in county lockup, and all because she couldn't grasp boundaries, law, or respect. It had only been 48 hours since Madison's arrest, and the world already felt smaller, heavier. I woke to the ringing of my phone, expecting work calls. But it was Carol, her voice dripping with exasperation and thinly veiled anger. Jake, I just paid $2,500 to bail Madison out. Because of you, I pinched the bridge of my nose. Carol, she stole my car, forged my signature, attempted to defraud someone. You're upset with me for calling the police. She was trying to do something nice for the wedding. She didn't mean any harm, Carol insisted. I let out a long, measured sigh. Nice, by committing multiple felonies. Carol, this isn't about the Mustang. It's about trust, boundaries, and respecting the law. Madison broke all three. Carol's sigh came out as a frustrated groan. I don't want this to ruin her life. I know, and that's exactly why I handled it the way I did. Because if I hadn't, it would have ruined her life. Felonies don't just vanish. She'll learn the hard way, or she'll keep repeating the same behavior. Carol was quiet for a moment before hanging up. I blocked all her numbers after the 4th or 5th call. The harassment was relentless. Texts, calls, messages from Madison's friends, bridesmaids, family members. Everyone had an opinion about how cruel I was, how I was destroying someone she loved. But I knew the truth, and the truth didn't care about their feelings. The next morning, Detective Garcia called. Mr. Reynolds, we need you to come in for a statement. I spent the drive to the precinct feeling the tension coil tighter in my chest. I wasn't nervous about lying. There was nothing to lie about but about what this process would dredge up. I handed over my phone, the Facebook post, the texts, and a timeline of events. Garcia raised an eyebrow and smiled faintly. In 12 years, I've never seen someone post evidence of their own crime so publicly. Madison Reynolds seems uniquely unwise. The charges were serious: attempted fraud, and possession of stolen documents. Each documented, each time-stamped, each undeniable. And yet, when the officer explained the likely consequences, I felt a tiny, cold spike of satisfaction. Probation and fines for first-time offenses, but a permanent record nonetheless. Justice was moving, slowly but surely. Then, the first confrontation happened. Madison showed up at my front steps the next morning, having somehow arranged for an Uber. "Jake, can we just talk? 5 minutes. Please," she begged, voice quivering. I opened the door just a crack, enough to hear her out, but not enough to let chaos inside. "You tried to steal my car, Madison. Not borrowing it, not a misunderstanding, you attempted to sell it," I said evenly. "I wasn't stealing it. I thought it would help us." Her eyes were wide, pleading. "No, Madison. That's fraud, theft, legal consequences. And you still don't get it." Tears streamed down her cheeks. "I'm sorry. I screwed up. Can we fix this? The wedding's in 5 weeks. Please, I love you. We can move past this." Her words were dripping with desperation, but they didn't reach me. A person I loved or thought I loved had deliberately tried to cheat me, manipulate legal documents, and betray every ounce of trust between us. Love didn't excuse felony crimes. I said the words slowly, each syllable measured. "There's not going to be a wedding. We are done. Over a mistake. No, over theft and fraud." "Absolutely." She collapsed into tears, sobbing, pleading, talking about how everyone would know, how humiliating it was. "I can't," she whispered. "Should have thought about that before posting it on Facebook." I closed the door gently. Inside, I began cancelling everything: venue, caterer, rental, even the flowers. The calls were painful, but necessary. Responses varied: confused, sympathetic, angry, but none of it mattered. Madison's choices had consequences, and I was done taking on her responsibility. The harassment from her side escalated. Carol called from 6 different numbers over the next 2 days. Madison's bridesmaids texted, some pleading, some blaming me, some trying to manipulate the narrative. One text read, "You ruined Madison's life. Hope you can live with yourself." Another, "You're a control freak. You can't handle a strong woman making decisions." I blocked them all. Each new number, each new message, only confirmed my decision. Meanwhile, there was an unexpected wrinkle. Madison tried to use my credit card to book the Vegas villa. When the charge declined, she called the company, insisting she was authorized. She wasn't. My bank had flagged the card. I called and confirmed. No transaction approved, no charge processed. That should have been the end, but it wasn't. A few days later, I got a call from my landlord. "Mr. Reynolds, someone vandalized your car. You should come home." My Mustang, the pride of 4 years of painstaking restoration, was in my driveway. Every window smashed, tires slashed, hood keyed with a cruel message: "Should have sold it." I called the police immediately. Officer Rodriguez arrived and reviewed my Ring camera footage. My stomach sank as I saw the figure hoodie crowbar, deliberate movements, methodical destruction. Madison. She even looked directly at the camera at one point, as if daring me to catch her. Every strike was calculated, every act intended to punish. Felony destruction of property, clear and undeniable. The consequences were swift. Madison was arrested again, this time for criminal mischief, felony vandalism, and violating her bail conditions. No bail. Judge called her a flight risk and a danger to property. She was now in county lockup indefinitely. The escalation was complete. She had gone from attempted theft to violent retaliation in less than a week. Through it all, my Mustang survived barely, but insurance would cover most of it. My house, my life, my sanity remained intact. Madison, locked up, facing serious consequences, all because of her choices. The court date arrived faster than I expected. Madison's original charges for the attempted sale were combined with the vandalism charges. Walking into the courthouse, I felt a mixture of anxiety and resolve. I wasn't nervous about telling the truth. I had nothing to hide, but I knew what I was about to do would leave an indelible mark on both our lives. The trial began with the attempted sale case. The prosecution presented the Facebook post, the text messages, my testimony, and even the buyer's account of what happened. Officer Mendez testified about Madison taking the title, attempting to sell the car, and how I had intervened before a felony could be completed. Each detail was irrefutable. The defense tried arguing that Madison didn't understand the legal implications, that she had made an error in judgment, and that this was somehow a misunderstanding between engaged partners. The prosecutor calmly read the text where Madison admitted to taking the title without permission and planning the sale. The jury listened intently, eyebrows raised, absorbing the cold precision of the evidence. Day 2 focused on the vandalism. The courtroom darkened as the ring footage played full screen. Madison, in a grey hoodie, methodically smashing every window, slashing the tires, keying the hood. Every strike deliberate, every movement calm, measured. The defense tried to argue temporary insanity, emotional distress, even remorse, but the video spoke louder than any words. This wasn't a spontaneous act of rage. It was premeditated revenge. The jury deliberated for 3 hours and returned with a verdict, guilty on all counts, sitting in the courtroom. I felt a quiet, somber vindication. Madison cried openly. Carol wept uncontrollably. Dan, her father, sat stone-faced, his expression unreadable. The judge addressed her directly. Miss Reynolds, you committed multiple felonies against someone you claimed to love. You stole from him, attempted fraud, and then destroyed property worth thousands of dollars. You showed no remorse until facing consequences. This court takes these crimes seriously. The sentence was severe but fair. 18 months in state prison. $12,000 restitution covering repairs and court costs. And 3 years of probation upon release. A permanent felony record. Madison broke down, sobbing, as officers escorted her out. I didn't look away. This was the culmination of her choices, the undeniable consequence of her actions. Outside the courthouse, Dan approached me cautiously. Jake, are you satisfied? I'm not satisfied, I said, voice calm, but I'm not sorry. Madison made her choices. She stole from me, destroyed my property, and tried to manipulate the system to avoid consequences. She needs to face them, not me. Tiffany, who had been documenting parts of this ordeal, gave me a small, approving nod. Justice, even if uncomfortable, had been served. In the days that followed, the world spun with commentary. Social media lit up with opinions. Some called me cruel, a control freak, heartless. Others praised my decisiveness and sense of justice. The venue refunded half my deposit after I explained the circumstances. My Mustang, now repaired, gleamed as if untouched by the chaos. Insurance had handled most of the damage. My work life remained stable, my home untouched. I was free to breathe again. I got letters from Madison while she was incarcerated, all pleading, all attempting to shift blame, all failing to acknowledge the gravity of her actions. One letter read, "Jake, I know I messed up, but I was hurt and angry. Please drop the charges. I can't survive in here." I discarded it without reading further. Her feelings, her heartbreak, did not erase the crimes she committed. Reflecting on it all, I realized the lesson was stark. Trust is earned, not assumed. Property and law are not optional, and consequences are inevitable when boundaries are crossed. Love does not excuse theft. Forgiveness does not erase fraud, and the cost of ignoring the truth can be monumental. Madison's life was irreversibly altered. Her parents' marriage strained under the weight of the aftermath. Friends who had once defended her were left questioning loyalty, accountability, and the price of blind indulgence. Meanwhile, I reclaimed my life. My Mustang, my home, my sanity, all intact. I am cautious now. I date cautiously. I trust cautiously. And I respect boundaries, mine and others. The ordeal has taught me that protecting yourself is not cruelty. It's self-preservation. It's not about the car. It's about the principle. Looking back, I would do it all again. Some may call me heartless for insisting on consequences, for allowing the law to take its course. But this was never about revenge, was about justice. Madison's choices led her here, and no amount of pleading or tears could rewrite them. I sleep well at night, knowing I did the right thing, even if it angered the world. My Mustang is restored, my property secure, and my life, for the first time in a turbulent week, is my own again. Justice, respect, and personal boundaries matter. When someone crosses those lines, you defend them without hesitation. That is not cruelty. That is not vindictiveness. That is survival. And if anyone learns anything from this mess, let it be this: respect people's property, respect the law, and remember that consequences are not negotiable. Madison's choices were hers alone. My response was mine, and in the end, mine ensured the truth prevailed.